Welcome. Thank you to Talonbooks for having us all here and for publishing so many of my books. This is my 4th book with Talon. They haven't clued in yet that I'm not good at stuff. No, they're the best. And also, I mean, to read alongside a bunch of writers is always exciting to me. I don't know, I'm just like a little country bumpkin from a small rural town of less than 2,000 people. So, yeah, I don't know. Anytime I think about the idea of being here and doing stuff like this, like, it's very cool. I grew up around a lot of jocks, rednecks, people who own dirt bikes. If you owned a dirt bike, I'm not holding that against you. That's very cool, and I would like to ride it. So this is my book. There's a TV on it. There's a lot of stuff about TV. Who likes TV? Also, unrelated, who has seasonal allergies? Yeah, seasonal allergies. We all love it. We can't wait to go to bed. So this is a long poem. It's also, honestly, the first book that I've ever written that was in any way overtly personal, so I hate it. It's so stressful. I also really want to thank my editor, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who may be live streaming this, I don't know, but just really made this book into something extremely special, so thanks. Who likes HDTV? Just kidding, not me, I think it's garbage. Okay, here we go. HDTV infuriates me. There's footnotes here. But I would watch a show just about bidets and Japanese toilets. People buying homes is the least relatable kind of content. Maybe this is why it's popular. Or maybe I'm wrong, and people watch it because they own property with buildings on that property, dwellings, even sheds. I'm not sure how something so tedious became entertainment. It's like procedurals. I'm too much and they all bore me and enrage me in equal measure. Make something interesting happen. Do not show me another identical second bedroom. Please, I am begging you. There are people with actual ideas who could make television shows for you instead, but I understand. These are cheap in production and quality. Corporations clearly can't afford anything worthwhile. So yeah, there's a lot about me talking about TV in here, including shows that maybe you've watched, probably that you haven't, most of you. Okay, but who here has watched Gossip Girl? Yeah, the good people in the room. Okay. I started watching Gossip Girl late. Well, not really late, but 7 months after it premiered. Everyone I wanted to be friends with in the MFA, Megan and Claire and Kelly and Sharita, were talking about it. So I got into it, couldn't look away. Even though I was nothing like her, I was mimicking Blair Waldorf. I already owned colored tights. I worked across from American Apparel. Wore mostly dresses and skirts. I walked around hoping I could pout with power every week, a new event, parties, launches, album releases, teens opening a speakeasy. Of course. Pretend I could not resist. The teens looked old enough, but not too old. I was in my 20s too. I could give myself to caring about who was from what side of town, the instant commutes from Brooklyn to Manhattan that recappers criticized, but I still have never been to the East Coast. So what do I know about private schools and Brooklyn and subways, town cars, galas? I did know about more popular, powerful boys and how they would put pressure on parts of you that you wanted to ignore, that being from outside the city was gauche, that sometimes people would turn on you for wearing the wrong thing. Teen logic made a lot of sense. My new friends were magic. They were a different fantasy. Smart, interesting, hilarious, bold. When I started hosting ANTM nights, we were making our own event, something smaller, but that we carried. Through 2 apartments, I kept up these Wednesday night engagements. I'm going to call out some people in the room. Well, only 2. Megan and Claire and Lindsay and Kelly and Stacy and Laura and Roxanne, actually 3, and Sharita. Whoever wanted to forget their lives and join in Tyra's fantasy. Our laughter pierced through paper-thin apartment walls from 8 p.m. until we ran out of bang for buck wine. At the height of feeling my feelings, becoming the person I was going to be, it was really TV recaps that pushed me in the direction I needed to go, held me as I navigated the last years of my 20s. I ignored the hard parts of life, dove deep into Vulture every morning. An early riser, New York City recappers were always there for me ahead of my tea and cookies. I had to watch TV just to keep up with the recaps, to find meaning in the meaning behind the meaning. It was the most important writing of our time. As I finished my MFA, I realized I would never write anything as significant with the readership as a 2008 Gossip Girl recap on a Tuesday morning. I know I'd probably never deserve that level of recognition anyway. Accepting a low-level readership was crucial to my development as a creative person who couldn't stop comparing apples and oranges. A poet isn't a TV writer, isn't a journalist, isn't a recapper. But a poet can take any of these forms and manipulate it for their own gains. These gains are small and unrelated to muscle acquisition, like barely even the so-called writerly muscle memory. Say what they want to, while also saying something about the form itself. Sure, there are still those heart-sunk days of wishing people cared about your work, but you just text those wishes to your many friends. If you don't have many friends, I'm sorry. Also, I am not accepting new friends at this time. I am trying to maintain good relationships with the ones I have, and I worry about that enough. I'm really glad you bought this book or that you're reading it, but I really can't have any new friends. Sorry. Your friends are your complaint department. So this is a long poem. It's been really hard to read from parts of it because it's weird to read from this. Okay. TV asks so little of me. It's hard not to love that, admire the restraint, to just let me enjoy myself or turn it off at my whim. I water the plants from hot water bottles, guilt from using so many resources. But your body needs relief, and who am I to say you don't need to use 10 liters a day? I drown the spider plant and all their babies. Vow to keep the others safe. Use an app to gauge their water needs. You bought all these when we moved in, a low-impact activity that now is beyond your daily capacity. I devote myself to 18 pots of dirt, stems, and leaves. Like the greenhouse in Weeds, I heard there is a reality show about competitive pruning. I vow never to watch it. These calm reality shows do nothing for me. I do not want to calm down. I want to feel something burst through all my internal organs, sear my guts. I can't be happy for people who quit their day jobs to pursue their creative dreams. Not if they own a house, not if they own a car, not if they have a husband paying benefits to cover their rotten tooth emergencies and bad skin. What's at stake? If the only discomfort someone experiences is related to their art creation and all the time they have to do it, then I have to hate them. Being a mean bitch is hard work. I only have confidence about impractical activities and a little bit left over for manual labor. I will dig a ditch, but I never want to have proficient knife skills. So yeah, this book is about my relationship to television, my relationship with myself and my mental health, and also my relationship with my spouse, who has a lot of chronic health and chronic pain issues. He's a good boy, but he's a real introvert. So you should feel sorry for him that he has to live with me. It's really hard. I'm very annoying. But I do take care of him, and I think he appreciates that. Even though I make him, I'm like, hey, I just made up this dance. And he's like, no. So this is the last thing I'm going to read. Thank you so much for being here. There's a lot of SSRI talk, so I figured I would read this. Also, this relates to partially why I got this tattoo of ducks. If you want to talk to me about ducks, I'm a real beak freak. Please meet me in the lobby. I would love to talk more about ducks with people. I love ducks. So I finally take SSRIs. I go back to the mob. Classic. Invested in how hard it was going to be on Tony to whack pussy. Crying over ducks. Crying over ducks. I tweet my feelings about The Sopranos in a long thread and text Megan every time I get excited about a plot shift I didn't see coming. My reaction to Carmela's hair, Adriana's style choices, I search animal print catsuits online. I tell Daniel we need matching tracksuits to tour our books whenever we finish them. And you know what? We didn't do it. Huge mistake. Maybe for LA we can need our tracksuits. Weeks later at dawn, I get up and walk the lagoon. The ducklings, so big. I remember the panic, how recently I couldn't handle the way I had to be sad about their growth while I stayed the same, haunted by the inability to change. But I had changed. I'd grown older. I walked around an artificial lagoon in search of ducks because it brought calm to my heart. I asked my terrible doctor for help, even though the way he spoke to me always made me wish I could just send him an eloquent email instead. I made a start. I finished The Sopranos, and they definitely didn't get shot up in that diner. Shit just went on and on and on. Thank you.